call this meeting to order. And we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. May we have a roll call, please?
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Hairston?
Present.
Mr. Williamson?
Here.
Mr. Corrado?
Here.
Ms. Hurd? Mr. Hoagie? Ms. Howard? Mr. Lumpkin? Ms. Matthews Stinson?
Present.
And Mr. Wetmeister?
Here.
Thank you.
We're now at the point of approval of the consent agenda. The agenda is before you. Are there any questions or concerns? Hearing none, we will accept the agenda as presented. The next item is a request for executive session for the ATU Local 1385 contract. And at this point, unless one of the board members wish, we will not convene for executive session. Any request? Hearing none, we will not go into executive session. New business item. Item number 1, ATU Local 1385 contract. Before I go into it, are there some things you'd like to say, Mark?
Absolutely. I'd just like to hit the highlights on the settlement package. There's not a lot of change, actually, from the current agreement, but there were some very important issues resolved as a result of the settlement, and I'm going to hit just two of those, really, that I think are the most important. We actually settled a whole series of issues we've had, primarily with maintenance employees over, and our line crew, primarily on what work they do versus what work we outsource. We settled a total of 13, I believe it was, pending arbitrations with language that we've agreed upon on how we will work with these things going forward. It also incorporated some settlements of past arbitrations where it confirmed certain areas of work that would go to the union. There's others that have also been concluded that have settled certain work that we do outsource and protecting that right. So that one was really big, and you can do the math in your head on what 13 arbitrations would cost us in terms of legal fees. There was a great value to that. The next one, which might, to me, be the most important, actually, was in the tentative agreement, there was a separate page for Article 4A that deals with our Connect operators. What that really does is preserve the on-demand program, and that was the subject of another 2 arbitrations, but we finally reached a consensus between the parties. And again, it relates to the use of outside parties like Lyft and Uber and Anton's, others, to do such work. So going forward, it's crystal clear, and it's actually, I think, great language because it gives us the ability to use our folks when it's appropriate and they're available, and then supplement with the outside contractors, which should not only help us deliver the service, but in some cases help us avoid mandatory overtime for our employees, which is one of their biggest gripes. So that was huge. I would like to credit the mediator, Ken Hickey from CERB, who actually helped get both parties to agree on that document, even though initially we hadn't reached an agreement on the other issues. So that's a huge one, and it definitely will preserve the on-demand program going forward, which we know has been a big success. And I think especially in the areas of the county where we have no service or limited service, that's a big issue to provide people some access to transportation. Beyond that, the rest of it is financial. It's within the boundaries that we set a long time ago before we started these negotiations with the board. And beyond that, I would say I wholeheartedly recommend the board's approval of the new agreement.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions from any of the board members concerning the information you just received? Can I get you, Dave, to handle the new business item number 1?
The labor agreement between the Amalgamated Transit Union ATU Local 1385 and RTA that expired on March 31st, 2019, was previously ratified by the RTA Board of Trustees. The parties met over a period of months and recently reached a tentative agreement on December 20, 2019, on a successor agreement which will last through April 3rd, 2022. The revised language is attached to this action item. The Chief Executive Officer recommends ratification of this tentative agreement by the Board of Trustees. Madam President, I will move that new business item number 1, and that is the ratification of the amended agreement, be approved by the board.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that new business item number 1, ATU Local 1385, contract agreement be approved. Question. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Abstentions? Motion carries. The ATU 1385 agreement is approved. And I'd like to thank all of you, the union as well as our members of management, for getting this done. I know that it was not an easy task, and it seems to be one that benefits us both the union and the agency as a whole. So again, I'd like to thank all that were involved.
I appreciate that, and I want to second those comments. I think we're going into a really challenging year here, and getting this behind us will be huge because we're going to need everybody on the same page as we take on the next big challenge. So it's been great. I certainly appreciate our negotiating team, I think all of which is in the room today, for their efforts as well.
Thanks for dressing up on a Friday. Any public comments? None, thank you. And then any board comments? I'll start with you, Dave.
None.
Linda?
None for me.
Vince? Tom? Okay, great. Since there are no comments, I consider this meeting adjourned.